God damn it, did Sam redecorate again? Back to how it was before? Anyways, let's talk about boss battles.
Yo everybody, my name is Kaspi, and that was a very lacking intro, wasn't it? Anyways, boss battles. Boss battles are an integral part of a lot of games, being the high point in some cases. Some games are only boss battles, in fact, and in those cases, they're definitely the highlights of the game, because they're all boss battles. They're a showcase of music, visuals, and the skills of the player. So here's my top 9. My top 9, you ask? Well, I couldn't come up with 10 boss battles I like enough. Especially since there's only one game per franchise. Yeah, anyways, here's my top 9 boss battles.
I kind of forgot to talk about this, but spoiler warning for these here games. Yeah.
Number 9. Last year, I took a look at a Wii U classic, Splatoon, an overall fun time with a unique main mechanic. The boss battles aren't anything to write home about, but are solid throughout. There's only one I'd call fantastic, though. And no, it isn't the oven from the second game. DJ Octavio is the leader of the Octolings, and as such is a giant octopus. And I do have a fondness for octopi. What? They're real neat! DJ Octavio has gotten into his DJ Octavio ship, which has been powered by the Great Sapfish, which used to power Ankopolis. Your mission, if you choose to accept it, is to get it back from his 8-legged grasp. The fight itself is pretty intense too. You have to deflect his punches and these big bombs back at him, and then you take him down. Do this 5 times, and you win. The icing on the cake of this fight though, and the reason it's on the list, to be honest, is Calamari Incantation, my favorite song in the soundtrack. Squid Sisters do a great time of hyping up the last part of the fight with this absolute jam. Number 8. Oh boy, here we go. I haven't beaten Undertale. Settle down, settle down. It's only because RPGs, especially turn-based ones, aren't really my thing. But the boss fights are by far some of the most memorable. So anyways, let's talk about one of Deltarun's boss fights instead. I have actually beaten the 2 currently available chapters of Deltarun, and the second one especially is absolutely lovely. Then the boss everybody thinks I'm going to talk about isn't on the list, because there's a better one. The Queen's boss battle is nothing special, but the fight right afterwards very much is. A Punch-Out inspired boxing minigame? Hell yeah! In this fight you take on the Mecha Queen in a boxing minigame that we saw earlier in the game. This boxing minigame is clearly based off Punch-Out, something that I welcome with open arms since I love the Wii Punch-Out game. You have to dodge your various attacks in a, I must say, very beautiful mech of your own, and find openings to punch your ugly robot face in. The music, like all the music in the game, is absolutely wonderful and fits the vibes very, very well. I'll admit Spamton's theme is better, but like, this is about the Queen, not Spamton. So, to conclude, the Mecha Queen is a loving tribute to a fantastic game that I love very, very, very much, and I love this fight very, very much. Number 7. I did say I like Punch-Out for Wii, right? Anyways, he's a cheating Irishman. Aran Ryan is a cheating son of a bitch! That does make his fight more interesting, so I'm fine with it. This section is specifically about his title defense match, where he brings an actual weapon into the ring. How has he not been kicked out of the WVBA already? He uses this weapon to try to swing at you both mid-match and when he's trying to fall down. Along with this, he has all the classic cheating boxing moves. Elbows, headbutts, and, you know, all that sort of stuff. Also, his theme song is lovely. It's Irish-inspired, and yeah, I don't know how to describe music, but it's very good. Number 6! I did say I like octopi, right? Anyways, here's a... Wait a minute, I just did this section! Psychonaauts 2 was a lovely game, my favorite from last year, but only one fight really stood out as one I really liked. And it's the first one. The Lady Lucktopus is my favorite boss in Psychonaauts, including the first one, and it resides in my favorite theme for any of these levels. If you don't know, this level is a mix of Hollis Forsyth, the person mind you're currently in, old medical past, and a casino, since Raz accidentally made her a gambling addict. The Lady Lucktopus is the casino she's currently in, and now you have to fight it to get rid of this gambling addiction. Using your telekinesis, throw some objects toward her tentacles, and use your mind connection to zip over to her weak spot. She's also, for some reason, captured your classmates, so you have to save them in return for gaining their respect. I really love this fight, especially in visuals. Just look at it. Beautiful. Number 5. Shovel Knight is a game defined by its bosses and the levels that those bosses reside in. I nearly went with Polar Knight on this one due to my Viking bias. Then I thought, no, Mole Knight, because I love that level. But that shouldn't be part of the equation if you ask me. But like, no, I can't choose that one. It's such a basic choice. No. Plague Knight is a fan favorite for a reason. He's one of the knights that got their own campaign, which, to be fair, his main weapon of choice makes for a very interesting moveset. The scythe is one of the coolest weapons of all time. Technically it's not a weapon, but shut up! His fight has a couple platforms that you'll be sticking to for the fight. Plague Knight will swoop around the level with his massive grass chopper and throw it around, which is pretty difficult. Let me try to throw a grass chopper of my own. Okay, yeah, that was difficult. Also, have you seen these dang animations? It's friggin' awesome. So yeah, overall, a sick design, main weapon, animations, everything. Number 4. Monkeys are great. They're some of my favorite animals of all time. Now, monkey bosses, those are far and few between. Donkey Kong is a boss, I guess. Sorta. Anyways, It Takes Two. Moon Baboon! Not only is it a clever name, it's a clever fight. Throughout the whole section, you use Cody's shrinking and May's gravity boots to solve puzzles. This fight uses them very well, if you ask me. The first phase is a pretty simple section about luring laser beams into these poles. One of the poles requires you to use the moon boots, and that's pretty neat. The second phase is the phase where you ride rockets. You go zoom and crash into it. The third phase is where you use Cody's shrinking. He goes into the ship and destroys it from the inside, and once you do that, you're done. I'm just kidding. Now he's running for his life, and you get to control the ship. And laser beam, more importantly. It's really dang cool, and I love it. Boo Baboon, you are a lovable buffoon. Number 3. Roguelikes tend to have pretty cool bosses, and my favorite roguelike, Hades, has some pretty good bosses. The Sisters of Death and the Bone Hydra are really good, but like, it's called Hades. Yeah, Hades' best boss is Hades, because of no duh. Well, actually, not no duh, because the others are pretty solid as well. Anyways, Hades. Hades' fight is an incredibly tough fight, even for Hades' standards. He zooms across the play area, creates hard-to-dodge shockwaves, goes invisible, spawns enemies. Oh my lord, I get you want your son to go back to your dang house, but this is excessive! I love it. Not to mention the story here. I'm known on the internet for nothing, but if it is anything, it's not paying attention to stories in video games. Here, though, we have a story about Zagreus just wanting to leave his hellhole of a house and find his mother, but his last obstacle is his own father. The man whom, I don't know, was there when he was born? Maybe? I don't know, he's pretty shitty. Not to mention, spoilers by the way, there's the second phase of the fight. It's a great test of skill, and the bit afterwards where you slowly walk towards your mother's house while dying is pretty friggin' sad. Though when I beat it for the first time, I was listening to System of a Down, so it sounded more like, la 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 la. But hey, still a good fight. Number 2. Mario isn't a series known for their bosses. I'm not about to put the Koopalings or fucking Boom Boom on here, but throughout the series, there have been a few solid bosses. In comes Super Mario Odyssey, my favorite game of all time, with its pretty alright bosses. Nothing too fantastic, but nothing too horrible either. To the capture mechanic, the bosses are pretty dang unique to any other fight in the series. I nearly put the final fight with Bowser here until I realized it's only because of the bit right afterwards. Also, it doesn't use the capture mechanic, even though it still changes your abilities. Anyways, here's the only fight that doesn't change your abilities. Not counting the Brutals, of course, who I consider more like mini-bosses. The Dragon, who doesn't have a name, was a shock to literally everyone playing this game blind. And I don't just mean surprising. Oh god. But it isn't just the shock value of a massive actual dragon in a Mario game that puts him on the list. The attacks are fun to dodge, especially in the hard version of the fight. His lightning breath on a first playthrough is tough to dodge, and so is the shockwave attack. Thankfully, you get free hearts to use throughout the fight. Once he slams his head into the ground, you have to pull off these epic gamer moves, and it's real cool. And then you have to pull out the poles on his head to realize weak spot and kablamo. I'm speaking in a German accent. Not to mention the visuals in this fight are beautiful. Purple looks nice here, and this Dark Souls looking world is a marvel. For a Mario game anyways. Super entertaining fight that I nearly put at number 1, but of course I didn't. Number 1. Cuphead is a boss rush game, so of course it's going to have good bosses. But there is a reason this happens all the time.
I hate you.
Cagney Carnation, yes, that is the name of the Flower boss character, is iconic in the grand scheme of the gaming universe of the past 5 years. I don't know when the actual how I just said, but it's probably true. Anyways, this boss is infamous for being a toughie in the first world of an already tough game. The boss where everybody goes, Jesus Christ, why? This flowery boss is one of the bosses in the first world, as already mentioned. It technically has multiple phases, but in reality, there are basically just 2. The regular phase and the what the fuck, why is it scary now phase. There are 3 platforms you can use to dodge attacks, which later become the only platforms you get to survive on because the game hates you. If you think that's bad, Cagney will make 1 or 2 of the platforms deadly to stand on in the same phase, where those 3 are your only option to stand on. But these things are not the only reasons it's at number 1. Quick side tangent. When Smash Ultimate was going through its DLC cycle, we got some DLC costumes along with it, and also some music tracks. When Sans somehow became a DLC costume, of course, it came with Megalovania. There's also the possibility of indie game characters getting in as costumes. So when Cuphead was announced, what song did they choose? Floral Motherfucking Fury. Yes, this song is one of my favorite songs in any video game ever. The trumpets, the piano section in the middle, the wind instruments at the beginning, all of it is a masterclass of video game music. Chris Madigan, you deserve to get that Best Score in Music award for Game Awards. And it got stubbed from you, even though Nier Automata is really good as well. This is one of, if not the best soundtrack of all time, and this song is the best one on it. So yeah, that was my top 9 favorite bosses of all time. If you have a differing opinion, then feel free to stop. My lists are objective.
Anyways, what was I going inside for? Oh, right! I hate plants. You've ruined my life.
Thank you guys so much for watching this video. Yeah, it's been a fun one to work on. It took a little while, but you know, all's well that ends well, right? Yeah, no, I have a couple videos in the works right now. One of them is finished. It's coming out in the next couple of days. And then I have one that I just started the script on today. But yeah, I'm starting to work on like multiple videos at once, and it's really helping me consistently like work on something. You know, if I get bored of one project, I just work on the other one, and that's really been helping my motivation recently. Comment, like, and subscribe. Go to my Discord server. I have one. Follow me on Twitter. Yeah. Shut up, you stupid cat. I'm gonna fucking kill